Today, I'm going to teach you a skill that can really help your relationships. If you're not familiar with Dr. John Gottman, he's a marriage and family therapist that studied what makes relationships last, and he could actually predict when a couple was going to get a divorce. One skill that was a predictor of couples that stayed together was something called accepting influence. Accepting influence is the ability to be open to a partner or loved one's suggestion when they share their perspective or when they tell you something that they need or that they want. So, say your partner asks you to do the dishes or to have a conversation on something important, or maybe even to call them if you're going to be late for work. Accepting influence means that you're able to listen to and explore their request without getting defensive, without shutting down, or without betraying your own needs and people pleasing. When we're open to another's influence, what we're saying to them is that your feelings matter to me and that I'll consider what you're saying even when I feel uncomfortable. Now, I want to point out accepting influence doesn't mean people pleasing. It means that you consider their request. So if you're asked to do something and you feel like your needs are going to be ignored or your boundaries are going to be violated in the process, then you're going to communicate that. Accepting influence is an act of open, direct communication, sharing each other's perspectives, needs, wants, and constructive problem solving or negotiation, where the request can be considered and it can be decided on whether or not it can be fulfilled. Now, not everyone can accept influence. I'm sure many of you are even thinking right now of someone that you're currently in a relationship with, or maybe someone that you're in a past relationship with that shut down or maybe exploded as if they were being criticized every time you asked for something. To accept influence, you have to have some things within yourself. The first thing is you have to have a strong sense of self. If you're feeling insecure or inadequate, it's easy to take another person's request as a personal attack. You have to have a strong sense of self where you're able to separate and understand that someone else's perspective or their wants or their needs does not reflect who you are as a person. Another thing you need is you need an ability to regulate your emotions. You have to be able to tolerate stressful and uncomfortable emotions. So even if you notice yourself going into shutdown mode or becoming defensive, you're able to pause, to breathe through that initial reaction, and to listen from a place of curiosity. The third thing you need is an ability to see another's perspective, to see outside of your own. You need to be able to understand that things that matter to other people might not matter to you. Whenever your partner or your loved one asks you to do something that you feel is pointless or maybe even irrelevant, you can take a step back and understand that it matters to them. So you can make an effort with the things that feel meaningful to someone outside of yourself. If you practice this in your relationships, it's going to deepen your connection. It's a skill that's going to help you be more open and curious to your loved ones and help them feel safer with you and more emotionally connected. You might even want to share this video with your loved ones so you can practice together. I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you accept influence in your relationships?